3, 2, 1, we're live. It's another Hood Nigger Productions, yo. Every time sinibonisa, we keep showing you. We keep showing you ukuthi ba siyayinyusa every day. This evening, siphethe uLuyanda Chris Ndasana. Voice of Silence uzosijoyina ke namhlanje uzobela lapha umfowethu yabo. Sike sasebenza naye before pha ku Eve's Apple. Get an amazing show. You can also find that show from our list, from our playlist, from our previous shows. Besike sazenza so HNP. Pha bebe busy pha with dancing. Ulebo was there, poetry and all of that. So tonight, this evening ayitsali simphathele lo mjita nizazibonela ke ngoku wena ukuba uLuyanda Chris Ndasana. What is he all about? Usasicelela ke bawungubani usukaphi? Amahe ngathi usuka phaya Alvani, but you know what, masikabe siwesti ixesha. I choose sa. Yo.
It's another Hood Nigger Production, yo.
3, 2, 1, we're live.
We should stop running from self at some point, and sex won't fill the void. So unless you've got needles, I don't get the point. Cause at some point, these one-night stands still leave you lonely at the end. So dear son, find yourself a woman who knows her place like a map. Cause you need directions, not new sex positions. I mean, you need a woman who's driven to stay your passion. You need a woman and her changing seasons, cause a storm makes you appreciate her warmth. She's a woman who understands being one is strength, cause the head needs a strong neck to stand. So you need a woman as much as she needs a man. Side by side like bicycle pedals, you two keep the ship moving. So keep loving, this is how you keep living, keep believing. Unfaithful is the non-believer. If he speaks of forever, that's a deceiver. See, you need a woman who's also a mother to turn you into a father figure to shape the future. See, you need a sister to assist in life's assignments. You two were assigned to amend the Holy Trinity. Then it will eventually grow into a family tree. If you could be ready to be what it takes to be a human being that can withstand, yet understand that hand in hand, we have the upper hand. So you two need to be understanding like foundation for these walls to stand. This is how homes are built.
It's another Hood Nigger Production, yo.
Welcome back to another Hood Nigger Productions, yo. Kusengu athi lo uzikhali ke uyazi aka sazi laseThongo. Namhlanje phere guest yethu ke apha ke Voice of Silence. Tata, kunjani?
Khona njani futhi?
Yeah, zikho nakuthi. Yeah. Andifuni bendiwaste ixesha ke. Please tell us about yourself and tell us more about what you do.
My name is Luyanda Ndasana. I'm from here, the Eastern Cape, Kota from Alwal North. I'm a member of Eve's Apple. I'm Voice of Silence, a member of Eve's Apple. Eve's Apple is a poetry movement that consists of 4 seeds, which is Eros Cupid, Dominus Litters, Verbal Vision, and I, the Voice of Silence. Voice of Silence is also a brand on its own. I'm a writer, modeler, actor, poet, more especially.
Okay. So briefly, when did you start performing, and what inspired you to go on stage and perform? In fact, from the process of writing.
From the process of writing, hey, my journey has been a very, very long and complicated one. Because I started actually in rap, actually. Rapper back in 2009, that's when I started writing, rapping, started recording my first track, 2010. And then from rapping, group and then the young ones, breaker, and we split it. And then I went solo for a while, and then that changed in 2012. The join a movement, Kamata, Papitwan, Black Nation back in Alwal North. That's when I started doing poetry. And what actually motivated me to maybe try poetry out was back at high school. The English teacher, Miss Gwai, we discovered and about things that we do like unprepared speeches at school. Man, you're good with words. Why ungazami poetry? And then that's how I started writing poetry. Ndiqala ufumana gigs esikolweni, back at school, good prize givings, perform my poetry. There was a scholar most of the time.
Okay. So I understand last year you guys did the whole Eve's Apple attack. Last year we captured that. Ule Bonotabang and myself. It was a wonderful performance. In fact, it was a wonderful show.
Thank you very much.
You know, I see you guys are helping the industry to grow, but what do you think when kutheni poetry inga expand into as an industry? What's lacking?
I think what's lacking briefly, yeah. Hey, plus I talk a lot. What's lacking, I think it's growth basically. I think it's stuck in one place. We sine face of poetry, and as we allow it to evolve. So I think change, as one in how we are fusing poetry with music, theatrically poetry, about just keep poetry like going. Don't sing a limit, let's let it grow.
Okay. In our last show, we had Umzita slam poet up there. He had a piece where he was calling poets out like they are useless poetic devices. They are, I don't like so many things, but basically it was this whole thing about, hey, poets as long as it's into ones, sound ngokufanayo, there's no variation. In fact, I don't even think now you aggregate when you top 5 yake. Umzita slam poet. Whether would you regard the artist of Anomzi as someone who is prominent in the scene compared to yourself?
No. I wouldn't regard myself as in league Kamzi.
Sure.
Yeah, but so nabantu ababizile probably ke kuba ku league yakhe, but so I do not. Even Mzi knows. For I've performed with Mzi a lot of times. He knows I'm not in his league.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm way out of his league. So
sure.
I don't think it is a home.
Yeah. Okay, so you are not a metaphoric dummy as he puts it. Because he's on some poetic dummies. You know, poetic writers. You know, they're using bubblegum codes. You are foolish with a spectrum in the framework.
No, I don't think
okay.
I don't think I do. No.
Oh, okay.
As I said, you know, not me.
Not you.
Plus,
yeah.
Me and Mzi, we can't even compete.
Yeah. Orange ne appeal. Orange ne banana. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, would you go on a battle with another poet?
I am actually a slam poet. I slam. This is what Mzi is now. Puffy calls himself, but I haven't, and there's no book or winning titles now or anything.
Okay.
But I am actually a slam poet. This is what I am. Yeah, I compete with poetry, but I've participated in two actually slams lately. I bought first slam. My first ever slam was a high school, won a high school slam, and then yeah.
Okay. No, that's dope. I know siyabulela tata. Yeah, it's Another Hood Nigger Productions. You ndihleli apha no Luyanda uChris Kandasana fundini Voice of Silence. You know, when I take it further because we'd love to see the poetry cool as an art form. Ingabi industry nje eniche fumaneka kwi pockets ezithile, especially in the Eastern Cape and PE. What do you think what should be done ukunceda la le scene expand?
I think first of all we should stop entertaining trash too. See, like poetry is like, I think poetry likes this thing with a friend of mine. Poetry likes the honesty of abantu knowing that you can't just because you have something to say doesn't mean you have the skill of writing. Poetry has to do with the skill of writing. Yeah, but it's the definition of poetry. I've been saying ordinary words placed in an extraordinary way. You have to have a skill to do this. This is not just something. There's people you have a story, write a story, write a storybook. There's storybooks.
There's poetry. Okay. You know, we've been to sessions where poets, they tell us basically bas recital diary entries. What do you think of that?
I have no comment. Plus, I don't do that. So
yeah.
This is what I was saying about the difference between poetry. I think Lendo Fanaka, in a way, Lendo the industry cool Fanaka quasi or distinguish between there's informative people. I think Umzina he mentions it. There's people who are informative, meaning you know information. Doesn't mean you can write.
Alright.
But you know information is good, valuable.
Okay.
And then there's the writers. And then there's what would I say? But there's a lot in the category, but there's also writers like a wordsmith.
Sure.
And then there's people who can also perform,
Okay.
the poetry. So can not point up or to distinguish this and put it into the way you are doing this, it's not really it. And so now it gives the whole thing a bad name.
Yeah, because man, it's hard to attract the audience with poetry shows or poetic shows. Yeah, but going forward, what can we expect from Voice of Silence and Eve's Apple? Briefly, what you can expect more shows this year from Voice of Silence. Expect an EP coming up. I've been talking about it, but an EP coming up. There's no dates yet, but sometime this year. Okay.
And from Eve's Apple too, an EP coming up.
Okay.
So that's what you can expect.
Okay. Lastly, who do you look up to when it comes to poetry?
Who do I look up to?
Kamata. Okay.
Kamata.
No, number one. It's another Hood Nigger Productions. Again, I was very from Voice of Silence himself. And go visit up. Now at least it's better than the last time you were here. And so please check out this interview. And you out there, please subscribe. HNP Hood Nigger Productions. Facebook sikhona HNP Hood Nigger Productions dikhona nampa athi Madawule Mqoqo Thabang ojimu lapho. It's another Hood Nigger Productions yo, ndihleli nabani?
Voice of Silence, the
Voice
word
of Silence.
magician.
Yeah, the word magician.
Signing out. Catch me on is Apple say #2 years at a time. Any social media platforms, just #2 years at a time.
I know, we give thanks.
Bless
It's another Hood Nigger Productions, yo. Signing out.
The art of pen dancing. You get better with every fall, but you just have to stay on the dance floor. Cause it gets shaky at first, but you'll get the flow. Then finally this poem will start to take its form. Now right to left, right. Especially about the ones that left. For this bleeding pen carries their DNA. So right to retrace their steps for a dance is only as beautiful as its steps. So step in between the line, right? What's in between the line, right? To enlighten the mind, and please don't get lost in the hype. And if you do get lost in the hype, please find time to write, even when the watch is covered in concrete. Cause we know times get hard, but find the right words and right words, cause only they can find faith when she's obstructed by doubt. So there is no doubt. I mean, you know what this is about. When this pen dance, every step makes sense like a manuscript. So manipulate art in order to recreate earth, cause in the beginning there was word. So let the pen dance until the end of pages, ages. I mean, you know time tells all tales and death has all heads. That's life's twists and turns. Hence the pen never rests, it twists and turns. Pen dance on page.
It's another Hood Nigger Production, yo.